Hey guys, this is the first Foundry Podcast, and I have a good friend of mine, Ben Konchar, one of the trainers and boxing coaches here at the Foundry. Um, I told Ben a while ago I wanted to start a podcast for the gym, talk about certain programs and stuff we have, and he's like, "Man, I'd love to be on that." And so let's take some time, introduce yourself, tell everybody who you are, where you come from, what your name is, all that stuff.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ben Konchar. Abe, thank you for having me.
Yeah, man.
It's good to be here. I been in
Good to have
Buford
you.
a couple years now, doing the training thing and
Hmm.
kind of making it happen. Came down from the mountains of New York.
Cold
So,
mountains of New York.
not as cold as you think. Chilly at times. But yeah, that's we've been down here the last 2.5 years at this point.
Awesome, man.
Yeah,
You like it here?
I do. I've adjusted. Tell you
Yeah.
what, I know this is funny. Made my first trip back home, maybe after like 8 months of being away. Right, drove. So 16 hours later, to and fro. I got back down to Buford off the interstate, like a little bit past the air station, and or near Wheel Branch, I think it was. And it was like sunset, driving over the bridge, and the sun sets over the marsh.
Oh, yeah?
Dude, and I was like, huh. I was like, kind of feels like home now. That's when I realized, I think this is home now, you know?
Welcome home, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
So tell us, Ben, what got you into fitness, man?
I got bit by the bug, and I started really enjoying it and seeing changes. And when I got down to Buford, I was involved in the boxing program and
Yeah.
hadn't really picked up the weights. And so there was a time where I was preparing for a fight, but I ended up going back home. So I felt like I missed my opportunity, but in reality I didn't. So I chose to pick up the weights after that and try to do a little bouncing back and forth, weightlifting, boxing, and kind of felt that good feeling again with weightlifting. Just kind of ran with it,
Well, cool,
you
man.
know.
So I know you got some, you got a little brand you're wearing there, Conscious Fitness. So I see some photos and stuff. Tell us a little bit about what you do with the apparel business.
So to be honest, I never thought that I would get involved in apparel business or personal training, but I saw it kind of as a way to do a little independent venture
Mhm.
on my own accord. I like to walk to the beat of my own drum, and so I figured I'd try my hand, see if I was capable, if I could really put some rubber on the road, so to speak, with a business. And started with the training, and I realized there's no ceiling to it, so I wasn't held back in any regard. So I figured,
Sure.
how else could I make a couple bucks training outside of training? How can I really turn this into a profitable business?
Hmm.
You know, and then you're in the gym and you see everyone's got, the gym sharks and the raw gears and the young LA. So I was like, I like these lines. How can I get my hand in that, So I decided to roll out my own gear.
Yeah. Do you got a website yet?
ConsciousFitness.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been up for about 6 months, give or take. 6 months. Have an online training forum, so that's a new thing I'm trying to get involved with. I realize this year I would like to get involved with making money online,
Hmm.
so I feel like there's no limit to what you can do with that,
Gotcha, man.
you know. So ConsciousFitness.com. It's been the latest love child to the fitness game. So
Gotcha.
yeah.
So being a trainer here, you see lots of different types of clients and things like that. And I know there's a lot of questions that people ask that are similar from time to time. So they'll be like, what's a good workout that I can do to get in shape, lose weight, or they're looking to get into bodybuilding or just want to, look better. So as a trainer, as somebody who's kind of gone through it, what do you think is the best starting point for somebody like that?
For just getting in the gym.
Or just, what's a good starting point to get on the way to their goals, whether it's coming to the gym or starting point? What do you think that is?
I would say just show up to the gym. That's something I share with people I work with. I say half the battle showing up.
Hmm.
You know, you get dressed up, you brush your teeth. Get little fuel in you. You come to the gym. Why would you not follow through with it?
Sure.
Half the battle is showing up, trying to convince yourself, if you're new to it, man, I don't want to do this. People are gonna be judging me, looking at me funny. I don't know what I'm doing in there. So
Well, it's also kind of, you get the the camaraderie too, right?
Oh,
so
yeah.
yeah, you struggle a little
Come on
bit,
now.
but people are always there to help, especially
Absolutely.
here at the Foundry. I know that we see someone struggling, we always lend a helping hand.
Got
I've
to.
spotted for you more than a few times, and vice versa. So, what do you think about that aspect of fitness? Do you think that that's a lot of people, you see these videos where they criticize people looking at them in video and all that stuff, but do you think that the fitness culture is accepting of people, or do you think it's a little bit do you think that they have their cliques and they don't like to accept people who are new to the gym?
Well, there's definitely those people.
Sure.
I mean, it's no secret. You will run into those people in the gym, but it's not, in my personal experience, you don't run into those people as often as you would think. Some of my best friends, that I made in Beaufort, I've met in the gym. So
Yeah.
I feel like it's you meet all different kinds of people, but no matter where you go, if you're bartending or if you're gonna run into not so nice people.
Well, I think that having this gym, a big reflection of the gym is the character that I have. So I like to try to be welcoming to everyone that I can, obviously, and I see that from our trainers like yourself. I see that from people who work out here. I think it's a very motivating culture here, and
Agreed.
And I know that some gyms, you get to the point where you're kind of just lost in the background, and some people like that, and if that's your thing, that's fine. But my suggestion to people who get in the gym for the first time, don't be afraid to talk to people. I mean, if you have confidence issues and things like that, that's understandable. You're going to the gym for a reason, but you never know that big bodybuilder type guy that you don't want to, make eye contact with because you think they might be a little scary or they might judge you or something. That might be the best friend that you never met yet, So I definitely recommend if you need a spot or something, you need to talk, get some advice on how to lift. That obviously there's some people who aren't going to help.
Yeah,
but
that's okay.
Around here, we like to help who we can, and if you found that that's helped you in building those friendships, does it come from that kind of environment or that kind of experience, or what happened to make those friends?
Oh yeah, I mean we're kind of struggling together. We're all kind of getting it out the mud, so to speak. We're all in here working hard. There's nothing pleasant about weightlifting or jiu-jitsu or boxing. It's tough. It's literal blood and sweat, sometimes tears. So if you're going through that with somebody who's right there alongside you, you build some camaraderie. You uplift one another. Because there's days where I show up, like very recently actually. There's a little side one here. I showed up 2 weeks ago, and I had to go to the DMV. DMV was closed. It was right before Christmas. So I was like, man, I'm slacking on my priorities for the day. And the last thing that I want to do is come to the gym. Had a bartend. So I was like, man, I really want to be elsewhere. So showed up, half the battle showing up.
Sure.
And Josue, he showed up. He's like, hey, man. He's like, what are you working on today? I was like, man, to be honest, I don't really. It's kind of here. It's been present in the gym.
Yeah.
He said, let's get a workout in. So we did such a good workout, him and I, little partner workouts, curls, rows, lat pull downs. And I texted him later that day. I was like, dude, you really helped motivate me today. And I consider myself someone who brings the energy, as often as I can.
Sure.
You know how it is. It's not easy all the time, but
for sure.
You keep it hustling. So to have a day where I wasn't at 100% with myself, one of the homies came through and was like, man, I got you.
Yeah. That's a good point too. We try to be motivators here in the gym as instructors and coaches and trainers and so forth, but it's good to have that kind of environment where you can have the people who rely on you, you can rely on them a little bit too. So it's this, like you said, it's camaraderie. It's more than just coming in to work out and your bros, you're here for each other. And do you find that those people that you made friends with here, that you find yourself doing stuff with them outside the gym too?
Yeah.
What kind of stuff do you guys hang out?
Well, to be honest, I work all the time, and that's a poor excuse. But if I see my people out in public, I greet them like I would greet family or friends, because these are people that I have struggled with.
Sure.
And granted, it's how do I say this? everyone struggles differently, I guess, in the gym. Like, we're all in our own conflict. But this is a funny little one. Our boy Cheeto, I was talking to Cheeto one day around the bench, and I was like, it's like, I need to come to the gym. I was like, this is my blood sport for the day. I was like, there's a cold-blooded killer, who wants to lift some weights. This is my daily struggle that I need to feel like I have fulfilled my purpose as a man. I want to show up, put some work in, feel accomplished. And he was like, man, that's a little crazy. I was like, well, we don't have to put on armor to defend our township anymore, or on a horseback. So I don't know. I feel like I go to war with the people in here.
Yeah.
My bannermen,
Band of brothers.
Seriously.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Hold the line with them, right? Lift the weights.
It's like that.
Yeah. Well, that's good, man. Well, so let's do this now. Let's talk about, like, your goals for this year, 2024. It's a new year. I know a lot of people have resolutions. They have goals and ambitions for a new year. You said you're looking at, building up some online presence, looking at maybe selling some products, selling some training and stuff. But as a person, what are your goals for 2024 personally? Not just in a business sense, but what are you looking for yourself?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
Put you on the spot.
Yeah, not one I have pondered recently, or at all, to be honest with you. I don't really do the resolutions.
Sure.
I know people say that, but
we all have goals, though. I mean, you have goals, I'm sure.
I know a lot of some of my gym goals, just to keep it. Man, I'll be honest, I haven't really thought about that. That's a good question.
Think about it now.
But gym goals, I know I'm approaching my training differently in terms of a personal trainer or just me individually coming to work out. To have my foot on the brakes for a little too long. Not even on the brakes, I just haven't been showing up like I used to. And I say air quotes because, it's a flow.
Sure.
Never been a flow. But I recognize, not only as a fitness trainer, but as a person, I feel the best when I'm working out often and working out hard for however long at a time. So when I'm not doing that, I don't feel like I've shown up for myself. And as a personal trainer, I'm not going to want to work out with someone who doesn't look like he works out. So that's been a big thing for me in like the last month or so. Is like, yo, you got to show up, you got to put some work in. No more slacking, whether it's nutritionally, workout-wise, even my relationships with people, my friends, my girlfriend, my family. I feel like I'm getting closer to these people by kind of taking more honest looks at myself and being like, hey, man, we got some work to do.
Yeah, we all have work to do.
Yeah.
I think for me personally, I have been thinking about it a lot. And, we all have financial goals. We have physical goals. I think one of the biggest things for me this year is, fulfillment. Where do you get your fulfillment, And for me, maybe it's because I'm getting older. Maybe it's something else. But like spiritually and elsewise, I really feel like this is a season of giving back, taking from what I've been given, I believe by God, but taking what I've been given and helping to share that with others. And I know that recently one of the kids I used to train in MMA, he got shot in a drive-by here in town, which is like, that's tough, man. This kid was 6 years old when he was with me,
Dang.
Little boy.
Just recently?
Yeah. And, I start to think about that, and I think about the challenges that, in his case, he was collateral damage, the gang activity, drive-by. They weren't even trying to shoot him, but he ended up getting shot and killed. And we see that, and we have a pretty good community around here, but when you see that kind of behavior, you see that kind of activity, you can't help but think, the people behind the gun, who's leading them, who's helping them make the decisions. And I really feel like, for me and for the gym here, I think our goal for this year should be to give back as much as we can, not in just like helping with charities like we've been doing, but mentorship, getting kids involved in fitness and sports and boxing and jiu-jitsu and things like that, because I think that, like you were saying, that band of brothers, like we're going to war.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have the same enemies that they did in the medieval times, but we definitely have a struggle. We have a fight, and that fight is against, like I said, this, you get senseless violence, you get abandonment, you get people who are just rejected by their, fathers and whatnot. And as a man, I feel like a really strong calling to help those kinds of kids that don't have that relationship. And of course, I can't be everyone's father, and I don't mean to be everyone's father, but just to be a good mentor, a good leader, role model, somebody who can hopefully introduce people to a different outcome. That's my goal for this year. And I think you're going to be seeing a lot of that, and I'm sure that you'll see some of those kids in boxing. You'll see some of those young teenagers in boxing, and it's just something I think is really important for the community. Like, seriously, one of the thoughts I had recently is, at what point do you get satisfied with what you have accomplished, And so we all think about our goals for this year. Am I going to be satisfied with hitting this number of clients? Am I going to get satisfied with the gym getting this much in revenue? Or, or am I going to be satisfied by seeing a kid change his lifestyle and maybe turn around and become a better person? And so I think that's my ambition for this year.
I like that.
Yeah, man.
So that reminds me of something a mentor of mine shared. And you're a mentor of mine in ways as well, Abe, to be honest. In the last couple of years, you've really put me on to some things bigger than the gym. And I'm sure people listen to this, they're going to hear what you just said, and they'll be like, okay, his mind is elsewhere,
Yeah.
But I have a mentor back home, a fellow named Jim. I'm sure I mentioned him to you in our conversations once or twice. He's talking about when he gives us material, us, a couple friends of mine back home, we would sit down, we have dinners, we talk about just life and the universe and kind of how it's all comes from internal places, kind of what we experience externally. And the big thing is when we give to people, we create space for us to be given to. So we become like these vessels,
For sure.
Actually, there's a good book. I see you got books all around us. The Celestine Prophecy. If you ever get a chance to check that out, it actually goes into a little bit of detail about that.
Okay.
Good little book. I'm actually rereading it. It's one of those books they say it finds you when you're ready. So, kind of cool,
I definitely think that we all get found from time to time,
Indeed we do.
We have to find ourselves as well.
Indeed.
But, well, I think that based on our conversation here, I want you to talk about your brand a little bit more. Tell people where they can find you, how they can get a hold of you, and what kind of new merch you got coming out.
Sure. So, without revealing my cards, so to speak, I got some things in the works, but time will reveal these when it's ready.
I got you.
So, I've been teaching some classes these days, conscious fitness, where in the online game, like I said, that's my big business approach for the year, is trying to figure out a way to tap into the online market. And whether it's just fitness, I know fitness is such a small community on the internet. There's billions of people who are on the internet every single day. So my approach is to figure out how I can cater to them, in air quotes. I don't think fitness is just my intro, a foot in the door for that. So that's what it always has been, to be honest, from the beginning, is figuring out a way to provide for my life financially, I'll say spiritually, physically, lifting weights and all that. Finding a way to get means for this life, doing what I enjoy doing, working out, just hanging out with my friends all day, to be honest, lifting weights, kind of sharing goals together. So if I can figure out more ways to do this, to increase my lifestyle enjoyment, but to also, I wouldn't say get some luxury. I'm not after luxury. I would say more impact. I want to do these things and let people know kind of like this is a group effort. So I think that people who work with conscious fitness, it's more of it's a family, you know. And I'll throw in the old, you know, the background, you know. Family's a big thing for me. So if I can not only create a family, you know, with my friends and my people who are all doing the same thing I'm doing every single day, and make a business out of it, and you know, it's just fulfilling. Talking about fulfillment, that's fulfilling for me. For me. So that's the approach this year.
Sounds good, man.
Expanding the family.
Well, thanks for joining me today, man. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you, Abe.
All right, later.